Hey everybody! Well, we're supposed to be having a snow day today, so I'm a little bit early with a little piece of Foxglove for you, which is, I wrote Foxglove because I really love the suspense novels that the guys in the 70s and 80s used to write. They used to be on the bestseller list all the time. Anyways, Foxglove is set all over the world, and right now we are in London, December 1989, and I'm going to start because this is a couple of pages. Iris tapped her fingers on the table, absent-mindedly watching the other drinkers in the pub. A couple of steel workers near the far end of the room watched their buddies play a serious game of darts. A hefty woman, buttocks overflowing the bar stool, argued with the bartender about Margaret Thatcher's competency as Prime Minister. A constant flow of laborers filed through the heavy oak doors, talking and laughing among themselves, but still no Ian. She checked her watch again. 5 minutes past 6. Ian had never been late in all the years she knew him. It seemed she had spent most of the past few days waiting for something, anything. She had waited by the phone most of the first day, but soon started going stir-crazy in her small Barnaby Street hotel room. She had walked down to the commercial area that afternoon, making a pretense of window shopping, even finding her way to Harrods and picking up a few Christmas presents for her nieces and nephews. Teddy would love the miniature castle with its horses and armored men. Malcolm was into dinosaurs this year, and she fed his interest with all the colorful books she could find on the subject. Little Tanika, still into dolls, will get an African princess, complete with 3 colorful changes of clothing. But shopping had never been Iris's favorite pastime, and she soon grew tired of it. On the second day, she rewrote her story on the Berlin Wall coming down and faxed it to Walter. Then on the third day, she visited Oxford, several museums, and a few of the libraries there. But still, she could not focus on historical Britain, and didn't really care who had erected the buildings or created the artistic objects they housed. Her mind constantly strayed back to Ian as she became more and more impatient for fresh news about Ellison and Foxglove. Now she checked her watch again, anxious to meet Ian, solve the Ellison-Foxglove mystery, and get on with her life. She had refused to call Sheldon while she was here, assuring herself she'd talk to him when she got home, that it made no sense to have another long-distance argument. The solace her decision created felt rather comforting, though procrastination was not her style. It was time to go home. Finally, Ian's bulky frame filled the doorway. He spotted her immediately and headed in her direction, skirting tables and chairs in his way with all the grace of an overweight ballerina. When he sat down opposite her, flushed and breathing heavily, he was a tie around his neck. "Sorry, love," he said, motioning for the bartender to bring him a beer. "We've got a bloody serial killer on the loose. Seems to like chopping people's heads off, so it's been kind of busy at the yard." Pages got stuck. Impatient, Iris waited for him to take a couple of sips of his beer and to cluck a bit over what drinking was doing to his weight. Then she urged him to share what he had found. With a flourish, he pulled a manila envelope out of his jacket pocket and dropped it on the table between them. "What I do for you," he intoned with a genuinely affectionate smile. "Don't let any of those toads find out I gave you this, or it'll be up to me knickers in the brown smelly stuff." She opened the envelope with trembling fingers and emptied its contents on the table. "Your Foxglove is quite a busy bloke," Ian said as he watched her sift through the pile of computerized reports and articles. "He really gives the computer a workout. This guy likes to finance military takeovers and coups, it appears. Seems to have quite a bit of ready cash, he does. But no one really knows what he looks like. For example, this report," he pulled a report written on the Prime Minister's stationery out of the pile, "says he was believed to be Russian, but that was in the 60s. This one," he pointed to the one she held in her hand, "was written in the 70s and says he's from one of the Eastern Bloc countries. Well, whoever he is, he's been keeping the chaps at Interpol busy trying to follow him. He's everywhere. Panama, Chile, the Philippines, and some smaller African countries whose names and boundaries change so often, I've stopped keeping up with them." "Money," she said quietly. "Excuse me, love? This is all about money." Iris spread the papers on the table before her. He's either buying arms or selling them, financing revolutions or staving them off by buying out their leaders. Money. Makes the world go round, Ian sang. Wish I had a bit. Could use a few more pounds every month, I could. Why, just last week Martha was trying to talk me into buying new bedroom furniture. I don't know. That woman seems to think. Ian's voice dissipated, fading into the background noises as Iris concentrated on what she had been given. Some were official Scotland Yard reports, others from Interpol, still others, articles from Middle Eastern newspapers, which the computer had conveniently translated into English. Yes, Ian was right. This Foxglove was a busy, intriguing person, someone able to dodge the authorities in every corner of the world, and who appeared loyal to no one but himself. Yet nowhere in the reports was there the vaguest description of him, nor had any speculation about the man's true identity proved infallible. His power to remain invisible made her shiver. Even the most elusive of international spies had been photographed at one point or another. She knew for a fact that Interpol had a whole file on Carlos the Jackal, the infamous terrorist, even though they've never been able to catch him, but nothing on Foxglove. He was either really intelligent or adept at disguising himself, or both. There's some stuff in there about that fellow Ellison, too, Ian added, eyeing the dark game in the corner. Why don't you give it a read while I challenge those shooters over there? She barely nodded, letting him leave the table without so much as a thank you. That's it for today. So Iris and Dakota are both looking for Foxglove. They don't quite know who that is. Neither does anybody else. And the mystery continues. So I bet you neither one of the people that I see watching are going to have snow like we're going to have snow, but at least I'll get to read a little bit. Maybe the power will even go out. Anyways, hope you're well. Let me know what you're reading. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.